Tyler, stop me if you've heard something along the lines before of, I'm just looking for the right program. I just don't know where to start. I can't seem to find the right, workout plan. Have you heard anything along those lines?
I've heard that.
Ever heard that before?
Oh, yeah. I just, it's just not fun to me. I'm looking for something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how do I know if it's going to be effective? Or, there's 100 different variations we could explore. And I think now, especially with Instagram culture and, the bright side of everything's at your fingertips, more information now than ever readily accessible. Years ago, you had to go to the library or you had to go look at Muscle and Fitness or, there was very few resources for good training plans. And now there's training plans everywhere. The hard part is deciphering which ones are legit and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
But the thought that I fall victim to, and I have fallen victim to, I'm starting to get better as I get older in my training life, is there is no perfect program. And I think we spend a lot of time worrying about the perfect program, and we forget about the most important aspect of any training plan, which is the intensity that you take when you show up to the gym.
Yeah.
Or when you show up to your session, or when you show up wherever it is that you do your physical training. And that's what I want to talk about today is not forgetting the key component to any plan, which is your effort, the intensity that you put forth.
Yeah.
Because you could have a suboptimal plan, sets and reps and periodization schemes. And, it's not maybe down to the exact science that all the studies are talking about, but you could execute it flawlessly. You could put in tons of effort into it and you're going to see results. On the reverse side, you could have the world's greatest program, sets and reps dialed in, weight is perfect for you. Everything is tailored to your exact needs. And if you just show up day after day and check the box, you're not going to get
Doesn't matter how
what you
perfect
could.
it is.
You're not going to get what you could potentially get. So that's what I want to talk about today. And this is relevant to me right now. I'm 34 now. I've been training hard for, going on 15 years now. And when you're young and you're seeing the results quickly and your body's changing and it's fun and it's new, it's easy to stay motivated. It's easy to show up with that intensity. It's when you get older and you start to feel a little bit of pain. Your physical body doesn't change as much or as easily anymore. You start to get into this rhythm, or I start to get into this rhythm of, yes, I'm showing up, but am I just checking a box? And that's the theme that I keep thinking about is, why am I just checking the box? Why am I just showing up and putting half effort?
Yep.
Have you struggled with that at all?
Yeah, 100%. Coming out in our early journey with football, it was easy because the program was laid out for you. You didn't have a choice, right? It was like, okay, look, you show up, you do this. Like if you did some supplemental work, then you could add in some of your own little flavor that you want, and you could kind of custom tune whatever on the extra side. But for 4 hours a day, all the way through, for me, all the way up until I was 32 years old, it was laid out for me. My strength training, my mobility, my cardio. So in any type of running, sprint work, speed work, all that was laid out. So it was very easy when I retired and I got into my own plan, right? And I've talked about this. Like I was super excited about it because it was like, all right, I've gained all this knowledge. I've trained with all these different people. I've got all these methodologies, all these different things that I'm going to like custom tune for what I want and what I need. And then I get there and I'm like, I'm not sure what I need to do. What's the perfect workout for me?
Yeah.
What is it? And what I'd come up with a plan. Okay, I got this 6-week program that I'm going to go through right now. And I would get busy with life and I'd show up and I'd check the box. I'd take too long in the sauna for my warm up.
Yeah.
And then I'd only have 30 minutes to go do whatever I wanted to do. And I literally would just get lost. And I was always looking for, okay, what's the best thing? What's the best, I've got to get these workouts programmed for me. So then like I download some app that had this workout program. And I literally just was like jumping. But what I was missing was that effort that you're talking about.
Right.
Because I wasn't putting in the effort. Mm-hmm. And one thing too is be careful what you say is not for you too. Mm-hmm. Like I could have said, man, yoga, man, come on, what are you going to get from yoga? Like that's not for me. But there's times where I'm like, that was perfect for me. And when I actually would try it and do it, CrossFit, I talk about it all the time. I was like, that is the dumbest thing ever. I will never, when I'm done playing, I'm never going to heavy back squat, and you'll never see me ever power clean or snatch ever again. Like, that stuff's stupid. And yet here we are. I'm almost, I'm a year and a half into doing this, and like I love everything about it. My body feels better than it has in a long time. Mm-hmm. But what CrossFit has pulled out of me is that effort. Like when I go hard. And I literally was thinking about it this morning. So I'm 5 a.m. class, and we had this WOD, which
for those of you who don't speak CrossFit, WOD is workout
of the day.
That's what the cool kids say.
That could have been awkward. Some of you parents are covering your kids' ears. Is like I'm in it, and one of my buddies there's like a healthy amount of trash talking back and forth. And so there's just this inherent, like, I'm just going to go harder. And I remember it was like, all right, Monday's like a day that I don't want to feel good. Like I don't feel good. It's like getting started. And literally like I'm finishing it. I'm in the middle of this 2,000 meter row. And I'm like, no, keep going. Like, because I've got this number that I've got to chase. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, 2 years ago, I would have just shut it down.
Right.
But it was an effort. And so I walked away from that like, all right, like I literally pushed it much harder. I think of like some guys that we've had on the show and women on the show. Think about Matt Frazier, Rich Froning, and Tia. So
yeah, we've had all three of those on, by the way.
Yeah, just humble brag.
No big deal.
But where I think the science, where the programming, when you're at that level of athlete, that's where you see the difference. Now, they could have all the programming, but if they didn't put the effort, it wouldn't translate to the games and the competitions, right? But when you get to that point, it's like, all right, now how do I maximize my cardio? So now I'm on a certain running program. I'm on a swimming program. I'm on a body weight. I'm on a gymnastics. I'm on a powerlifting. Like that's where the science and like getting things dialed in there, that's where you see the differences. But you've got to understand where you're at. Mm-hmm. Like if you're just someone that just is trying to exercise, trying to get in shape, look, the pandemic, I think, showed us. Okay, I was at my house doing band work with bands. And I could have gotten as good or as little of a workout as I wanted. Right. It all was based on effort. So whether you're doing push-ups and sit-ups in your house, or you're using resistance bands, or you're using barbells or dumbbells or kettlebells, it doesn't matter. Yep. If you're trying to get in shape, it's increased heart rate, it's time under tension, putting your muscles under tension with resistance training. And it's whatever stagnant holds that you can do from a body weight perspective. Yep. If you put effort into that, you will see results.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't want to discount, and you're not discounting. I'm not saying you are. I don't want to discount.
I feel like you're going there.
This is basically everything you just said.
It's like no offense, but
everything you just said the last 5 minutes, I'm about to invalidate. No, I don't want to discount the importance of proper programming. Yes. Obviously, if you're wanting to get big and strong, yoga's probably not the right path. So you need a program that's going to tailor that goal.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you're saying. I don't want to discount that. What I'm saying is, do I really need to break down the nuances of this strength training program versus that strength program if there's really not a big obvious difference?
Yeah.
No, the factor that's going to get me my results is the effort that I put in.
That's right.
And I've been there before, and I'm really the last 2 years, and there's a couple of factors I think, at least for me, that play into it. Number one is, And you said it a second ago, you pushed harder because you had that accountability of other people around you. I think there's the magic in CrossFit or group fitness or all that.
Personal
you're going to put
trainer,
more,
whatever
you're
it
going
is.
to put more effort if there's other people relying on you to put that effort in. That's number one. Number two, it's having a structured plan written out for you. You have that at
knowing
CrossFit.
what you're going
knowing
to do
what you're
when
about
you
to
get
do.
there,
Right.
instead of trying to figure it out.
Yeah. You're able to put much greater effort into a program if you actually have a plan going in versus just showing up and freestyling it.
Yeah. Prime example is my wife. Is she would go to the gym, she'd sit in the sauna, steam room, and then she'd be like, all right, well, I'll go on the treadmill for a little bit, and maybe I'll do like the stair. I don't really know what to do in the weights, so I'm going to go back to the sauna.
Yeah.
She didn't have a plan.
Right.
Now she has a plan laid out for her, and she's stronger, better shape than she's ever been in her entire life.
Yeah. And the thing about the plan is knowing what you want in the first place.
That's right.
Having a set goal.
Yeah.
Understand why you're doing this. Understand why you're waking up early in the Tyler, why do you show up at 5 a.m., which means you got to wake up at 4 a.m. for a workout because you understand what you're after. You understand what you want. Right. Now you're able to put that intensity, that effort into it because you understand what you're after.
Yeah.
So if those three factors aren't in play, that's going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
And it's going to likely manifest itself in a lack of effort and you showing up in your training. At least that's how it's been for me in the past. And so that's the biggest factor. I know that when I have my goals dialed in, when I have a plan in place, and when I have accountability, I'm able to put in great effort.
Yes.
Now, if you want to nuance the effort discussion a little bit more, now it's me getting out of the mindset of, oh, I'm going to work out every single day. And now I do that because it feels good, but I do find myself sometimes just checking a box, on a Thursday morning because I know that I'm going every. So it's almost like, is it better for me to take a few days away from the gym completely and then put great intensity, or what's the point? So that's what you kind of got to wrestle in your mind is now, does that mean that you're going to go balls to the wall every session? No, that's not that. Again, periodization, having a plans of higher intensity and lower intensity. I've just found myself too many times thinking I'm working hard, but not really, and realizing I can have the perfect plan in place, but if I don't show up with that intensity and that focus, I'm not going to get out of it what I want.
Yeah, and but again, you're at a point where those are the nuances that you do have to look at and plan. Like, I think if we're just talking to somebody that's just trying to get started, it's all right, set a goal of 4 to 5 days a week, preferably 5, where you are going to have an elevated heart rate for 45 minutes or more, right? Elevated heart rate, and then you mix in whatever it is if you're just trying to get started. But now it's like, all right, I've got specific goals. So in order to reach those goals, am I going to go balls to the wall 6-7 days a week? Or am I going to have a recovery day where I'm supplementing something else? And maybe a check the box day is that, right? It's like, hey, look, just mentally, I've got to be in there, and I know myself. I've got to be, and I've got to be in the gym or in my garage or at the studio, whatever it is. And I'm not going to give 100% effort. But if you go in saying, look, I'm not, because this is specifically a recovery day, mentally and physically. One of the things our coach said the other day, he goes, hey, sometimes mentally you need a break. So today we are going to just take it easy. Look, this is a recovery day. Make it clear in your brain that today is recovery. So whatever time you think you would get, add 10 minutes onto it. Do it slower. Because sometimes it's just as mentally taxing going in and trying to max out every single day as it is physically. Yeah. Again, same thing that we talk about, right? Your body can do amazing things as long as your mind allows it to.
Right.
And so sometimes it's a mental break, but it's also healthy for, say, you and I to be in there. Yeah. Because I am a better husband. I'm a better father. I'm a better coworker. I'm all around better person if I am in there. But I know that, but that's where when you get to a point where, okay, look, I've got the fitness thing. Like, I know that it's important. I'm consistent with it. Now I can tweak it. Now I can implement the science. Now I can implement the programming. Now I can implement all the things that I can do to reach those goals. Because again, you make goals and then you remake goals and then you remake goals. And so what do I have to do that? But going back to the beginning, look, those are details that that we can address next year. Once I've put a year in and I've been consistent.
Yeah.
And I'm 4 to 5 days a week, minimum of 45 minutes, and I'm dialed in there.
Question for you. How do you decipher for yourself between I'm just not feeling it today and no, I actually truly need a break? How do you decipher that?
Yeah, so one, tracking my recovery, whether it be on my Sleep Number bed or my Whoop, one of the two. What I'll do is I'll see trends where if I'm not seeing my recovery bounce back, like for example, the last 3 weeks I've had really, really low recovery scores, like really low. And so I took a full, this is the first time in a year that I've taken 2 days in a row off. I took Saturday and Sunday off. Now granted, I still had an extremely high strain on Saturday.
What did you replace that with?
my coaching on Saturday.
He's the John Gruden of Salina.
I'm super
Maybe that's
intense.
not the right name. The John Madden of.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you. But it was something like, all right, I do need to take a little bit of a break. And I'm kind of at the same point as you where I'm like, all right, now I was just training to train.
Yeah.
I was doing it just to, and I want to be my best every day, but I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, okay, I want something to train for as well. I mean, outside of our Saturday suffering. Which we're doing. Which maybe that is what it is.
Which is coming up.
Come on. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a trial run today.
Did you?
Yeah, we did 400-meter farmer carries today.
How did it go? Did you have to put it down?
Uh-huh.
What weight did you use?
Yeah, I went heavier though.
We'll dive into that in a little bit.
Pin that a little bit later.
Pin that a little bit. No, that's good. I like that. And when I was younger, it was all about, oh, you're being a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Get after it.
Yeah.
Every day. 7
No
days.
rest days. No days
8
off.
days a week. Get after it.
Yeah.
No.
Hashtag Russell Wilson. No days off.
What's the old meme? What's the rest muscle and how do I train it?
I figured out the perfect exercise. It's lateral stagnant body braces. Inverted lateral stagnant body.
Inverted lateral
body braces.
Sleep.
Inverted, lay on your back.
But as I've gotten older, and you're right, that's the great thing about the Sleep Number bed is you can track that recovery.
Yeah.
So one day, I don't take much into account one day of bad recovery. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get after it. But if it's been, like you said, 3, 4, 5 days in a row where I know my sleep's been terrible, high stress at work, high stress at home, that's when I auto-regulate and decide, okay, today is more of an active recovery. I've realized that one day doesn't make an entire year or whatever.
That's right.
It's as crazy as that sounds, I used to think that.
Yeah.
I used to think if I don't go freaking balls to the wall this workout today, my whole plan's shot.
If I don't hit a PR, I've literally lost everything. I have to start over.
That's literally what I thought.
Yeah.
And looking back, it's funny. I laugh at it, but that was in my 20s.
Go explain what active recovery is. And we kind of talked about it a little bit, but you put a term to it. And
I actually did it today.
I think it's important.
I actually did active recovery today.
On a Monday, huh?
On a Monday. Yeah. I like to start my week with a rest. No, actually these days, Saturdays and Sundays, I used to take Saturdays and Sundays off.
Right.
Those are my rest days.
Yeah.
Now those are my most intense days because it's the only 2 days I can actually get something done.
I don't have calls blowing me up at 7 a.m.
I'm not a fitness trainer anymore. I don't live in the gym. So my Saturdays and Sundays are actually my days off from anything else.
That's the benefit of having a home gym, I feel like.
Oh, it's great.
Because it's hard. It's a hard sell to be like, hey, I'm going to go. This is family time. I'm going to go. And there's no organized classes.
Yeah. No, it's great because my boys are out in the garage. I'm actually giving my wife a break by working out. It's the best of both worlds. So my boys are out running around the yard doing their whole thing.
Yeah.
The other morning, my oldest son was out racing cars.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
I did. I was just,
Did you make him do push-ups when he lost?
Yeah, seriously. Well, he cheated, so he never lost. But I'm sitting there doing my workout, and I look up, and this dude's running down the sidewalk, and I'm asking he said he's racing cars. I thought that was awesome. But that's side tangent.
Hey,
That's what
you can beat a car, you can beat a person.
So I don't even know where I was going. Oh yeah.
Active recovery.
Active recovery. So this morning I did it. So I got on the treadmill. One of my favorite active recovery. Now some people are like, that's not active recovery. What are you doing? One of my favorite active recovery is 20 minutes on a treadmill. I crank up the incline up to 13%. Put the speed on like 3.0, anywhere from 3.0 to 3.2. So it's a fast walk, a really fast walk uphill. And then I put on a weight vest.
Yeah.
And I do that for 20 minutes. And then after that, I do 10 to 15 minutes of dedicated mobility drills. Every single time I go into it thinking, I don't want to do this. This sucks. And then every single time I leave, and that was the best thing. I feel
so good.
More energy.
Yeah.
I feel loose.
Yep.
My body feels great. That's active recovery.
Yep.
It's not balls to the wall, but it's working up a good sweat, and it's moving your body in ways that you may not normally.
If you've ever played sports and you go through like a really good warm up, and you're like, your body, like, okay, I feel loose, I feel explosive, I feel fast. Like the active recovery to me would be that warm up that gets you to that point when you're like really, really ready to perform, and then you just back off of it.
Football's a good example. What did we do after every single game, high school and college and pros? What was the next day like?
Oh, it was a rundown.
It was a rundown.
Yeah.
You get up first thing in the morning.
Yep.
You go do some light sprints. You do some mobility drills, and then you go watch film. That's that's after an intense 3.5 hour dogfight the night before.
Yep.
So if they realize the importance of it, then we should realize the importance of it as well. But I think the point of this is programming. And again, I used to think that there was a perfect program for me and there was only one way to go about it. And what I've realized is there's a lot of different ways to get there.
Yeah.
Again, it needs to be tailored in the general direction of your goal.
Yeah.
But the point is put the right intensity. That's the most important concept. That's the most important aspect of any program.
Yeah.
Again, sets, reps, rest periods, all that is great. And that's to me, that's like the supplement though.
Yeah.
If you're not taking care of the foundational thing, which is the effort that you put in, then those other secondary things aren't going to make much difference. Yeah. And again, that doesn't mean you don't have days of recovery and where you pull back a little bit. But when it's time to go, it's time to go. And that's where you're going to see your best results.
Yeah, and again, some tips are just know yourself. Like Ben is someone that can push himself really hard by himself.
Right.
Like you don't need a workout partner to get you to a certain level of intensity. I didn't think that I did. Realized later on in life I do. So just know yourself and surround yourself in those situations that can maximize the effort on those days that you need to.
I'll say this, and we'll talk about actually more in tomorrow's episode, the importance of people. I will say, yes, I can push myself maybe more so than average, but I'm not naive enough to think if I had a weight training, if I had a partner, I would push myself even further.
Yeah.
Because I do find myself on days where I do need to push, where I don't. Maybe I take a little bit longer rest than I should. I try to keep a timer on me to hold myself accountable, but again, that's not everybody. So like Tyler said, know yourself. Go get involved in a group fitness class. Go join a CrossFit gym. Yeah. Find accountability somewhere. If you can find accountability, you can have a plan in place, and you know what goals that you're after, those three things are going to allow you to put in great effort.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is show up and put in the great effort.
And literally two things that you can't replace: effort and consistency.
That's right.
Those are the two things. Like if you are on those, then you will see differences.
That's right.
You will see progress. You will see change. And again, there's all the other things that you can do to help: recovery, nutrition, very, very important. And then I would say programming, and those are the three things that like you can add, but effort and consistency, those two are, look, if I'm going to focus on anything, that's what I need to focus on.
That's right. So get after it today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Hopefully that was helpful and encouraging. That's what we're all about here, right? Is we don't have it all figured out. We don't have all the answers, but hopefully.
Funny story is this morning. We had a mobility episode a couple weeks back, right? Talking about the importance of mobility, and we're doing pistol squats this morning. And my buddy's like, "Hey, dude, I got this really good podcast about mobility and the importance of mobility, dude. I'm going to send you the link. Because I couldn't do it. I was struggling with the pistol squats because I had bad ankle mobility, like I talked about. Yeah. And he's like, dude, I'm going to send it to you. You got to listen to it. So we are not perfect, trust me.
No, not perfect at all. But hopefully it does. You know, I had podcasts for years and years that, you know, maybe there was a day where I wasn't feeling it, and I'd throw a podcast in, and for whatever reason, something they said would push me forward that day and help me get that. Now, you can't rely on that all the time, but hopefully that's what this podcast, that's what I would love for this podcast to be, is the days you're not really feeling it, you turn this on, you hear an inspirational story, you hear something about physical or mental health, and it pushes you that day to get something done you wouldn't have done before. That's what I hope this podcast is for you guys. So if it is that, and you think somebody could benefit from it, please share the show. Please text it to a friend. Post it on your Instagram. These things may seem minor to you. Maybe like, I'm just one person. What am I going to do? But that's how this grows. That's how we reach more people. That's how we ultimately turn our communities and our society back into the right direction. It's more conversations like this, more people listening, encouraging other people and doing the right thing. So
creating community. Less individuals, more community.
Yeah. And as Tyler alluded to earlier, we are doing our second installment of Saturday Suffering. This week it's going to be on a Sunday because Saturdays are crazy right now.
Yeah.
So first thing Sunday morning, we're waking up. We're going to get a little workout in. It's going to be, it's going to suck. It's not going to be fun.
It's going to be sucky.
It's going to involve farmers carries. It's going to involve running. It's going to involve loaded carry stadiums. Yeah, it's going to involve a lot of things that are uncomfortable.
Ben and I are not built for.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen a gorilla jog, but it's not a pretty sight. And that's what you're going to witness is two gorillas jogging. So anyway, stay tuned for that. It'll be on our YouTube channel, and I'll obviously let you guys know when that comes out. But we had a good reaction. I think people liked watching our first one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think they liked watching our suffering. So.
Well, I'm glad somebody liked it.
Yeah, we didn't like it. But anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. We will see you tomorrow.